Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the AJS TV channel. It is Aston Villa versus Zrinjski in the final game of the group of the Conference League. We have already qualified. You can see on screen, just below me, just here, it's Villa who've qualified with 4 wins and a defeat. Our first game of the group was a defeat to Legia Warszawa. Since when we've won every single game, Villa top of the group, and we have qualified. We can absolutely confirm top of the group today with any positive result. Even a draw today, no matter what happens in the Legia game, would mean we finish top of the group. Would be absolutely massive for Villa, because if you finish top of the group, you get to play. You basically skip a round out, so we don't have, that saves up congestion in the fixture list, and I'm all for that. We do have a slightly weakened team. You can see on screen. Hello to Flat Cap Gaming. He says managed to get in the beginning for once. And how you doing, Lewis, as well? Yeah, I think our result today is important. I think some people might look at this and say, away from home, they're already out. We're already through. This will probably be like a nothing game. But the fact that we can, guarantee finishing top of the group, and like I said, we skip an entire round out, I think is massive. I really do, which is why I think some of these players are starting. Marshall in goal, not Martinez, not Olsen, but the third choice goalkeeper, Marshall. I think it's his first ever competitive start for Philip Marshall. So I think that is massive. Fair play to him. I think he should be, very excited, very happy about that today. Back four of Konza, Pau Torres, Matty Cash, Alex Moreno. I think it's a very solid back line. Cash back in the team. Konza back at centre-back, as he's been playing right-back recently. Midfield of Zaniolo, Den Donker, Douglas Suarez, and Jacob Ramsey. So it's Zaniolo one side, Ramsey the other, and a front two of Diaby and behind John Duran. No Watkins, no John McGinn, no Diego Carlos, and no Boubacar Kamara, and the inclusion of Zaniolo. Look, I'm not his biggest fan. I will say that. Look, I will support anyone in an Aston Villa shirt, but I don't really see a lot of quality when it comes to Zaniolo. 1 assist in 20 games? It's ridiculous. So yeah, I haven't seen enough from him. I'm glad we've got a loan, because to fully buy him, I think would have been a complete and utter joke, in my opinion. I hope we don't buy him. His goal record, in Turkey and in Italy is actually pretty good, but in the Premier League for Villa, it's been awful. Lewis says he's friends with Marshall's brother. Nice. And these are the games Daniela's bought in for. Well, the squad depth is important. So if we win today, say he doesn't play very well, but we win and we finish top of the group, then he's done his job, I guess. Jacob Ramsey back in the Villa team is something I don't think anyone can be sad for, or not one. I think this is the perfect game to bring him back. A game that we don't necessarily need him to perform in, but he's got his first start. I doubt anyone is going to be upset that he's starting ahead of them, because, like I said, it's a game that not many people will care about. But I'm glad, though. I'm glad he's starting. Hopefully he can get back to the form that we know. I'm just going to get a screenshot. I'll go through their players. To be fair, I'm only doing it out of the respect for our opponent, but I'm sure not many of you will know who they are, just like in our first game. I think I'll give respect to him, because Maric actually played very well in goal. If you guys remember that, Maric was absolutely brilliant in goal against us. So, at the very least, players like that deserve it. Maric in goal, Koluka, Jakovjevic, Radic, and Mamiya is a back four. With Kanagia, Ivancic, and Slomisic in midfield, with a front three of Kuze, that is a horrible name to say, Bilubija, and if you give me a second, his name is so long I have to actually click on it in order to read it out, which is Matija Malakanisic. He's the right winger for Zrinjski. Yeah, I mean, this Zrinjski side, they gave us the game. You can't say they didn't. We only beat them 1-0 with a 93rd minute header from John McGinn. So they did play with a low block for sure, but I thought they played quite well. That goalkeeper, Maric, I thought was very good. Like I said, I think he made on his own, he made like 6 or 7 unbelievable saves. I've said it before, he actually used to play for Rapid Vienna, and, many Villa fans will know who they are. It's the Rapid Vienna curse, the Rapid Vienna curse. These are the game. Well, no, I've read that before. Sorry, good fitness test. Konza is class. I love Konza. I think he's fantastic. And Paul says 2-1 to Wi-Fi password. Like I said, we can lose today and still finish top of the group, as you can see on screen. So it might not be the end of the world. If AZ Alkmaar beat Legia Warszawa by, I think, a considerable amount, I think they qualify. The goal difference, they've got to do a 5-goal swing, so they have to win by 3 goals, which is no easy feat. I think they also lost to Legia Warszawa in the home game. I'm almost certain. We'll see though. It's mainly experience exercise at this point, and you should play. We have Marshall's an academy goalkeeper. John Duran is an academy striker. Jacob Ramsey's coming back from injury. Dendonka doesn't play. Zaniolo doesn't play. Cash recently hasn't played. So there's a lot of young players in there. Like I said, Marshall's third choice. He's a third choice goalkeeper in goal for Villa today. I trust him ahead of Olsen. That's how bad this Olsen situation is. I'm just going to say, if any of you, some of you here might not even want to watch the game, just put the game on for 5 seconds just to see the stadium. This is the level we're playing at. There's one stand. There is genuine one stand of seats. The rest is like they've got like a running track around the stadium, and yeah, it's like non-league terraces. It's actually ridiculous. Like I can't believe this is a level of football we're playing. Other team we're playing against. I think they're Bosnian champions, to be fair to them, to give them some respect. But goodness me, this stadium is absolutely terrible. Like I said, though, we did only beat them 1-0, so the players in the stadium sometimes don't match each other. They played very well against us, but this is unbelievable to say that we're going to be playing. It looks like Sunday League if you ignore half the ground, honestly. Olsen's never been. I don't think Olsen's ever played a good game. Genuinely, I think you could even criticize some of the games where we've won in. Like he's just not. He's nowhere near good enough for me. Are you trusted? No, Olsen makes Onana look very good. Olsen genuinely makes Onana look very good. I will be going live on TikTok as well as soon as we kick off. I think I had it won't be like that today, but I did my first ever TikTok live for my last stream. I had 220 people on TikTok viewing. It was ridiculous. And I'm sure that was a lot of just Arsenal salty supporters. But yeah, that was definitely an experience. So we'll be going live on there. As we kick off, the players have got onto the pitch and are now shaking hands with each other. Predictions in chat, let me know. I'm saying 1-0 Villa. I don't think it was going to be. I don't think it's going to be like a battering. Some people have suggested. I think it'll be a very close and respectable 1-0 to Aston Villa. That's what. At least I hope we. At least I hope we play well. That's all I want. 2-0 says Lewis. Flat Cap Gaming says 3-1 to Villa. Realistically, we should win. A defeat today, even with this squad, will be a little bit disappointing. If we bottle top of the group, I will be sad. And yeah, I hope for the best. I hope Marshall plays well in goal. This will be good confidence for him. I hope Duran gets a goal today. That'd be nice. Or Ramsey, a Ramsey goal or a Duran goal. Or if neither of them score, I'd say I want Zaniolo because I want something from Zaniolo. Really, I feel like his confidence wavers as well. Captain today is Douglas Luiz. John McGinn is not playing, so Dougie gets the armband. I think Dougie's third choice actually, because I think the secondary captain is Emi Martinez. So Dougie being the third choice captain today. Yeah, we're playing a 4-4-2 as always. TNT Sport reckon Ramsey will be the shadow behind Duran and not Diaby. But I know Villa more than TNT Sport, I think. I'm guarantee you right now it'll be Ramsey one side, Zaniolo the other. That's how we've played most of the season. Or if that's not the case, it'll be Zaniolo behind Duran, Diaby one side, Ramsey the other. I don't think it's what they think anyway. I've been to many. The last Villa game I went to, you can go on my YouTube channel and look up. I've done 3 vlogs of games. The first game I ever went to, I was like 9 years old. And the most recent game I went to was when we beat Newcastle 3-0. But I've done vlogs of Villa Newcastle, Villa Chelsea, Villa Palace, I think. And I will be doing more. My uncle is a season ticket holder, so I get invited to games quite frequently. And I've been with friends as well. So yeah, I am going to go live on TikTok. Like I said, I don't think it's going to do very well today because it's Villa versus Zrinjski. So I'll probably get like maybe 5 people on there, but it should be nice. But yeah, if you want to view it on TikTok, you can. Alright then, Aston Villa are about to be underway. It is Villa versus Zrinjski in the Europa Conference League. We've got other games on screen, which include Legia Warszawa against AZ Alkmaar. Fenerbahce's game against Trnava and Ludogorets versus Nordsjælland is a massive game. The favourites to win the whole thing, other than Aston Villa, is Fenerbahce, and that side have been struggling. I mean, they got beat 6-1 by Ludogorets. I'm hoping against hope that they go out. It would be very funny if they got knocked out. I really hope. I really hope for a lot of things, to be quite fair. Hello to anyone who's coming in on TikTok. I've just gone live there. It is Aston Villa in the Conference League game number 6, the final one of the group. You know, the last couple of days we've had Champions League with Man United on Tuesday. Yesterday was Newcastle. Today is Aston Villa. So the Premier League. So hopefully we don't lose like those two. I used examples of English teams that have struggled. So hopefully we don't have that today. And we start very well. Matty Cash, lovely ball into Diaby down the right. And Diaby's got round, gets the cross in towards Duran. It's going to go all the way to the far side, Moreno. And his cross is deflected. Zaniolo with a really poor attempt in front of goal. And within a minute, Zaniolo should have hit the target. I'm already complaining about this guy. He's by the penalty spot and he's scooped it over. Really poor finish, really. Title contender says Man United edits, and Aston Villa come on says car guy. And do I support him? I keep getting these comments. I think it's because I do have like the club shop behind me, so fair enough. People take the piss. But yes, I am a massive Aston Villa fan. I know it's. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I am going to turn off invites for the live. So yeah, hello to anyone on TikTok and YouTube. We have just gone live. It's Zrinjski versus Aston Villa. Other games today, I mean, the biggest game of the Conference League other than today is Fenerbahce versus Trnava. As Fenerbahce, so far, I mean, they are on the brink of going out. They have to win today and hope results go their way. It's not an easy task. Trnava nearly held Ludogorets to a draw. And a very late winner for Ludogorets have put Fenerbahce in this position. Sorry, I forgot to turn off the overlay. I apologise for my YouTube viewers. There you go. I do forget. You got to tell me. Please do hit that like button. Double tap the screen as well. I would very much support. No, I'd very much appreciate your support. If you can do that. Aston Villa have just got a free kick here. And a yellow card already. For a foul. I didn't see the foul because I was looking at my chat. Kanagia with the challenge and the booking. Watching the Liverpool game right now. So what? So if I watch along, I could watch two. Exactly. That's what I do. Actually, believe it or not, that's what I do. Whenever I'm watching like a Champions League game and say like Man United are playing at the same time, I'll have Mark Goldberg on in the background, and I get to or like expressions easy for like a Spurs game. There you go. Easy. What's my favourite Taylor Swift song? I don't really like Taylor Swift, to be honest. There is a fair few mid songs, like Shake It Off is terrible. She's not a bad singer. She's just a bit, I don't know, overhyped, I guess. But she's got a crazy fan base. It's insane. But yeah. You will qualify from your group. It's probably going to be Villa and Legia Warszawa, unless a crazy scoreline we see in that game. They're playing AZ Alkmaar, and the winner... Well, even if... I think Alkmaar have to win 3-0 to qualify, I believe. So it's probably going to be us and Legia unfortunately. Stoke or Port Vale? I mean, Stoke are a bigger team, so that's the question. That's probably the easiest question to answer. I don't really care about either side, to be honest, but Stoke are bigger by a mile. Port Vale doesn't even exist. It's just it's a random name. Like my pro clubs team is named randomly. It's kind of the same, It's like hashtag United. I've missed some comments as well. Just give me a second. I admire Villa this season, says Matthew, but I do think their bubble will burst soon. Still think 6th or 7th. I wouldn't even mind that. If we win the Conference League, finish 6th place, I think that's a very successful season. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Yeah, TikTok. Like I am on TikTok and I'm doing lives. Having a different angle to your face is appreciated. I'm sure. See, so for my YouTube viewers, it's like straight up, and then the TikTok is like to an angle. So there you go. You get 2 different angles if you want to watch it on YouTube. It's AJS TV on YouTube. You can look it up. Stoke have been very poor, and their attendance has suggested that they drew with Swansea, didn't they? 1-1 recently, and they should have won that. They haven't won in like 8 games now. I wanted the Villa game to be on 8 PM, says Vince. And do I listen to rap music? I don't mind rap music. I think UK drill's probably the best if you want rap, personally. Maybe I'm biased because I'm from the UK, but like Central C's all right. Dave, it's all good. Post Malone is a rapper. I do like Post Malone. I mean, he does more hip hop stuff now. But yeah. You've got the wrong game on. I do not, unfortunately. What other game is there to watch? Liverpool have qualified, and I'm very happy to support my team. Even though, well, we've already qualified, but hopefully we get first place. That's what the game's all about today for Aston Villa. We need to make sure we go in with the right mentality, get the result that we need, finish top of the group. The side that wins the group basically skips a round out. Second place has to play in the next round, but if you get first, you don't, which I think is a wonderful rule. I absolutely love that. It actually means finishing first has like a meaning to it, and I love it. Leverkusen are on fire, so are Girona in La Liga, and so Aston Villa in the Premier League. Very nice this season. As a Newcastle fan, hope you win tonight. I mean, the whole of England really needs us to win because, the English teams are struggling in Europe. English teams need Aston Villa to get the points, so we get that 5th spot in the Champions League. Otherwise, we don't. Newcastle are out. Man United are out. Man City will probably get points for it. Liverpool will, and hopefully Villa do as well. But we kind of need those teams to do well for the country, really. Liverpool on the other channel, they've already qualified. No one cares. I don't even think many Liverpool fans will watch that because they've already made it. They lost against Toulouse, but they've won every other game, I think. Like, no one cares, Harrison on... Apologies. Harrison on YouTube says... Anything that can stop this Aston Villa title charge is Martin's injury, and a Watkins injury would also hurt us very well, very badly. I think a lot of Villa players are interchangeable because it's a system, not individual players. But Emmy's very good, and so is Ollie Watkins. I think those are the only 2. I mean, you take Pau Torres out, I think we struggle with our transition from defence into attack, but I don't think we'd be that horrible without Pau Torres. Watkins gets the goals. Emi Martin. I think our backup goalkeeper options are terrible. That's probably why that would be such a big hit to Aston Villa. But we've had injuries. Emi Buendia is out for the season. Tyrone Mings is probably out for the season. Alex Moreno's been out, only just come back. Jacob Ramsey. Like, people seem to think Villa have not had injuries. We've had several injuries. It's just we've actually dealt with it, and we've not used it as an excuse, unlike some teams. AJ, if you was a Villa manager, who would you sign? That is a very tough question because there's a lot of players who cost a lot of money these days. Before the January transfer window, before the summer window, I really wanted James Ward-Prowse, and I was gutted when he went to West Ham because Villa had looked at Ward-Prowse before. I think he's a phenomenal player, and I think he would be very good. It's too late now because he won't leave West Ham for a number of years now. But that would have been definitely an option. You could possibly get Rico Henry. from Brentford. I think he'd be all right. We do need a right back there. So I think we possibly should look that side and maybe a striker to compete with Ollie Watkins. I don't think Duran is on the level. If Watkins gets injured, I think we're in some serious trouble, to be honest. Best TikToker, thank you for that. I appreciate that. It's probably not true, but I appreciate your support. And we have Marshall in goal, by the way. Not Olsen, not Emi Martinez. It's Philip Marshall with his first game in goal. Yeah, we need a backup goalkeeper desperately, to be honest. Unless Marshall plays very well, then who knows? Maybe Marshall's that backup keeper we've needed and we've had all this time. But I've put a cross in. It's gone out for a goal kick, I believe. Oh, no, it's deflected, sorry, for a corner. I did miss that. All teams in UEL qualifiers, that's good. The score is still currently 0-0. Yeah, the goalkeeper, Philip Marshall, at the other end, it looked like the ball might have gone out of play and it wasn't given. Yeah, it did go out of play. We got very, very fortunate with that. And then down the other end, Villa get a corner. City probably win the Champions League and Liverpool win the Europa League. Yes, we might be fine with points anyway. Douglas Luiz corner for Villa. We go short. Ramsey into Cash. Can Douglas Luiz get the ball in? Right-footed, he does. It's not really to anyone and it's quite easily away. I do think we're going to struggle today. We struggle to break down their low block at Villa Park and away from home, we're not great. So winning today, it might be very tough. So I'm just reading some comments. If I do miss them, I apologise. A backup striker would be massive. Are we winning the treble? Yeah, FA Cup, Conference League, Premier League, we're going for it all, you know. What can't Unai Emery win? I'd love any trophy there. We haven't won a trophy in so long. I think winning the Conference League would mean so much to me. Like, honestly, I think it'd be huge for this club. Duran is a backup, but I don't know. I don't think Duran. There has been games where, okay, I'll mention the Zrinjski game, Legia Wazawa, where he's struggled, and you know the opposition isn't great. So he is a backup to Watkins. But say Watkins got injured, would you trust John Duran to play the season? I wouldn't. You know, that's the conversation Arsenal fans have about Eddie Nketiah. You know, is he good enough to play? Like, if anything long term happens, you gotta think of that when you've got a backup striker. If the worst happens to your main striker, how badly would it affect you? You know, you got to think about things like that. You know, Man City play one up front with Haaland. If Haaland got injured, Alvarez plays. Like, I know Alvarez, they've tried to play him in midfield and play Haaland with him, but you know that's not really a problem that Man City have. If they have any big injuries, their squad depth, it's not as good as what it once was, but their squad depth is still very good. Pep and... Sorry, I'm missing some other comments. Pep and Klopp, only world-class managers in the Prem. I think you add Unai to that, to be honest. Up the Villa, my team needs a backup starting 11. Yeah, Newcastle's injury list is horrendous. People getting on the back of Newcastle, I think, can be a bit harsh because the amount of players you've got out are crazy. Thoughts on Marshall making his debut? I'm very happy. I'd rather him in goal than Olsen. Olsen's a nightmare. Honestly, I could do a better job than Olsen in goal. It's ridiculous. Alvarez and Watkins. Still Watkins. Alvarez is very good. Alvarez is incredible, but I think Ollie Watkins... I'd rather him. He's an out-and-out number 9. I think Alvarez would do very well under Unai Emery. To be fair, I think Alvarez is top class. He won a treble. He won the World Cup. But I'd probably barely save Watkins over Alvarez. It's crazy, though, that Man City's backup striker could probably start for almost every team in the Premier League. How crazy is that? Man like AJ, hello, mate. How you doing? How's everyone doing in the chat? Double tap the screen. I think that's what I'm supposed to say on these TikTok lives. If you haven't already on YouTube, please do hit that like button. We are currently live on YouTube if you want to see some more overlays and stuff like that. It's a better viewing experience on YouTube, basically. AJSTV. I'm just reading some comments on my YouTube. I apologise because I've not really read much of these on YouTube. Up the Chels. The stadium is terrible as well. The ways of life. Invisible says Villa need a good attacking midfielder. We do have quite a few of those. Ramsey, Buendia. I don't know. I don't know if that's a position we could look at, I guess, but I don't think we need to. Get Thiago Almada in. You can have Reece James. Reece James has been in the hospital bed for how long? He comes back and goes straight back in it again. Tammy Abraham. I mean, I love Abraham, but it's been a while now since he was very good for Villa. Once we're fully fit, we need a role support across the squad. Discarded like a sweaty sports sock. Okay, I'm trying to read. It's hard to juggle both YouTube and TikTok. It really is. Yeah, it's been far too long for Tammy Abraham was what 5 years ago. Like, we can move on now. I wanted Abraham for a while, but I don't think he'd be as good as what people think now. It's like if you got Benteke back now, he wouldn't perform anywhere near the level that we know. Aston Villa Short says, I'm here supporting Villa and also Ludogorets, the Bulgarian side, to qualify today. I hope they do qualify. I really do. Ludogorets, I think as things stand, they do qualify. That game is goalless against Nordsjælland, and it's Fenerbahce 0-Narva 0. So Ludogorets do qualify. And I'd like that because Fenerbahce are one of the favourites. Do you recognise me? To be honest, I am going to feel bad, but I don't. Because Mo LFC can genuinely mean like anything. Emery's only good at small clubs. Well, that's not true, is it? Because he did very well at PSG. And he did very well at Villarreal and Sevilla. I won't call Sevilla a small club. Sevilla are probably like the champions of Europa League. The Europa League's their trophy, mate. So I won't call them a small club at all. Would you rather win the ECL or reach the... No, I'd rather win a trophy. People might complain and argue with me, but getting a trophy, like, it's secured, is massive. Like I said, we haven't won a trophy since 1996, so getting any trophy over the line would be amazing. I'd love that. PSG are not a small team. They've got lots of money, and I think Marseille probably have a bigger fan base, but PSG are not a small team, to be fair to them. It's like saying Man City are a small club. Like, okay, their fan base isn't as big as like Man United or Liverpool or Arsenal, but they, you can't really call them a small club anymore. Unfortunately, I don't even like City, but that's just how it is. It's all subjective. Exactly, it's subjective. People think Newcastle are a massive team. They've got a big fan base, but I won't call Newcastle a massive club. They haven't won a trophy domestically since 1967, so I can't see how you can call that a big club personally. But Newcastle fans will argue and say they are a big club, Like I'd say Sunderland are bigger than Newcastle. It's not even a debate. Sunderland have won 6 league trophies? But, you say that to a Newcastle fan, you'll see what they say. Aston on YouTube says too long with Tammy now. Still be better than Justed. I was there in 96. Seems a long time ago. It does, mate. Flat Camp Gaming says silverware helps the ego and bragging rights. Does the size of stadium count towards a club size? Kind of. It's like it goes hand in hand with like how many go, because like some people say Sheffield Wednesday are a big club because they have a big ground. And Newcastle's like biggest argument is their fan base and their ground. But you got to look at trophies as well, I think, look, some people disagree. I think Forest are bigger than Newcastle because they've won 2 Champions Leagues. Well, 2 European Cups. And they won it back to back. In my opinion, that makes them... It's not just that, but that's one of the main reasons I'd say Nottingham Forest are a bigger club than Newcastle. But Newcastle fans will disagree. That is fair enough, It's just my opinion. It's all subjective. And it is what it is. Newcastle far from a big club, says Sean. Guys, don't forget to double tap the screen. Like the video on YouTube and subscribe if you are new. Bigger or better history? That's kind of the same question, mate, to be honest. Matty Cash goes for goals deflected and Villa register a shot on goal for like the first time in 10 minutes. The deflected shot's not easy for Maric, but he's done well there, to be fair, goalkeeper. Cash coming forward from right back. I mean, the deflection, it doesn't really change the direction of the shot at all. Villa win it high up with Ramsey. Ramsey's got some options. And we try and slow the game down a little bit. I think we should. There doesn't seem to be like much tempo to this game. I really do think we should try and go for it. You know, this side will probably finish bottom of the group. They've lost every game bar one. Like, I really think we should go for it. You know. The score is still goalless. 20 minutes in, not really a great deal has happened. Zaniolo should have hit the target. And then Cash has had a deflected shot saved. There's been a few far between chances for Aston Villa. And Zrinjski, I don't think have created any. No like massive saves for Marshall to make as of yet. I don't think Marshall's even touched the ball, to be honest. They're not successful in terms of trophies, and they've been relegated in the past 10 years. Who are you on about, Sean? Oh, you're on about Newcastle, because yeah. Well, if Newcastle had like won the league in the 80s or FA Cup or whatever, then I'd say they've got a case. But the 60s, they're so long away now. They're not successful in terms of trophies, and they've. Oh no, I did actually just read that. To be quite fair. I by the way, speaking of Newcastle, cannot wait for Newcastle versus Sunderland. That is going to be a massive game. There could be some ugly scenes there. It will probably be a sellout at the Stadium of Light, and I imagine there'll be some much needed police work there. Huge game. Would be so funny. Sunderland's record against Newcastle is so amazing. Like in recent years, even though Sunderland have been terrible, they just always seem to beat Newcastle. They find a way. St James Park is a good ground. It is a lot. I like St James Park. It's a bit of a nightmare if you're an away fan. You have to travel, obviously, quite far usually, unless you're somehow local to Newcastle. And then you got the massive flight of stairs. You're miles away from the pitch. You need like binoculars for the pitch. Zaniolo's cross is deflected. Cash. Oh, that's nice from Durant. Villa. I don't feel like we should have gone backwards there. This low blocker Zrinjski it's so frustrating to go against. Their entire team defends. And I just think a third string Villa team, we're not playing that well so far. I mean, I don't think they've played very well at all, but I think they're frustrated Villa. They're on the break, though. We could be in trouble here. Oh, good goalkeeping. That's good for Marshall. Cross came in from the right. I think that was from, is it Kilinovic, whatever, the right winger. Puts the ball in. And Marshall, he does well there. Good goalkeeping. To be fair, I'll gas up Marshall anyway because I don't like Olsen, so I don't care what Marshall does today. You have a whole room. It's my like stream room, office room, I guess, and I have a background for it, like Mark Goldbridge has for his channel. Some people have green screen. I'd rather physically have it in the background because my camera, goes to it. I'd rather have something there. I love my club and I like showing it. So there's your answer. Well, Greenwood probably won't play for Man United ever again. Garnacho. I think Garnacho has talent. I mean, you don't score an overhead kick goal the way he did without having talent, but I don't know. I think that's his only Premier League goal, though, I believe. I think it needs to be like not under Eric Ten Hag for him to prosper. Chance of Villa shot again is deflected. I think it's Jacob Ramsey, right-footed. Villa get a corner. Yeah, it was Ramsey. Just fell to him inside the box. I think I don't know. I think he could have done better here. It's really poor clearance, but there's so many bodies in the way. Diaby was screaming for the ball from Ramsey. But it's been all Villa so far, just no cutting edge. Still goalless. Hey, do you think Arteta? No, Arteta's not better than Emery. I'll fight anyone on that. Arteta's a good manager, but Emery is proven, like across Europe, how good he is. Like Arteta doesn't have anywhere near the pedigree of Unai Emery. And I think if Unai went to Arsenal at another time instead of just after Wenger left, I think he could have prospered at Arsenal. I really do think that. I just think he was a good manager at a bad time. And he was given, was it 18 months at Arsenal? Possibly 2 years. Arteta finished 8th in his 2 seasons at Arsenal. His first 2. He did well, obviously, last year. bottled a league title, but it still did very well and is doing okay this year. But it took so long for that to happen, you know. Villa to win the league. I mean, I do doubt that, but what a story it would be. I'll ask my chat as well. Look, obviously, everyone here, if you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, you support, you know, most of you will either be a Villa fan because you're on a Villa channel or whatever team you support. If your team doesn't win the league or a trophy, surely you'd want Villa to win it ahead of Man City, ahead of like, you know, Man United, all these teams that you're supposed to be like rivals with, or at least domestic rivals with. You'd rather Villa win it than, you know, like your rival. If it's not that, say you're an Arsenal fan, you'd rather Villa win it over anyone else in the Big Six. At least that's how I think it should be, you know. I'm struggling watching this, mate. The match is, I mean, it is very slow paced, isn't it? Very similar to the home game, which is how I knew this game would go this way. It's been very dull. A few half chances of Villa, a few deflected shots on goal. But the low block, we struggle with it. And this is a very weakened Villa team. So that's why I said 1-0 Villa with a score prediction. And I hope that will be the case. It is goalless elsewhere in the games that at least I care about. It is still obviously 0-0 between Legia and AZ Alkmaar, and Villa will win the group as things stand. We do have a corner in swinger by Luiz. It's actually gone short to Zaniolo, but it was intercepted. I think a little bit of pace was needed on that pass from Luiz. I like the idea. It's a different type of corner. It's one of like the training ground corners you see, the routines. But the pass into Zaniolo was a little bit soft. I think it needed a bit more on it, because by the time it came to Zaniolo, a defender reacted and cleared the ball away. I like the ideas though, because we need things like that. We're probably not going to score a header. They've got their whole team in the box defending corners, so it might be difficult, really. We're not the tallest side in the world. Zaniolo, look, I don't like to criticise individual players, but Zaniolo, for me, I think has been our worst player this season. He's got 1 goal contribution in like 20 plus games. I've not enjoyed it. I don't think he offers much in the build-up. He's physical, but he's got no end product. He doesn't run very quick, and he's wasteful. Like I remember the Forest game. That to me was like the last straw for Zaniolo for me. He was absolutely terrible away at Forest. And yeah, one of the main reasons we lost that game. I don't think he's good enough for Villa, and I'm glad we've only got him on loan. I don't think he provides anything, if I'm going to be honest. I know there's going to be Galatasaray fans who get upset with Villa fans with that opinion, but it's true. Like the Premier League, it is hard for for players to adjust. I think the pace of the league's a bit much for him. I do think that. I can see him doing well. Like if he goes back to Turkey, I think he'll be fine. But I don't know. It just doesn't do a lot for me. Saka at 20 has more UCL goals than most Salah when he was 20. Yeah, Salah, I think, Salah at Chelsea is not the same Salah at Liverpool, is it? Like I think Salah developed into a world beater, a world star, later than most players do. I think that's why, that thing with Saka is true, but I do think Salah just developed at a later age and at a quicker rate than most players. I think Salah is just incredible. Nicholas Winter says, Villa have been frighteningly good in the Premier League so far. Good luck with the rest of the Europa League. I appreciate your support, man. I know you're a Birmingham fan, so obviously it's not proper support. But I think we've been doing okay. And I don't think we'll do anything amazingly special this season. I'd love for it to be the case, but I don't see, with all the games we've got to play, with the schedule congestion and the fact that we've been doing so well, it's hard to keep that up. I'd love for it to be the case, but I don't think it will be. So we'll see. We will see. Look at Bailey, but on the flip side, Unai can make mistakes. Buendia would have floated. I do think Buendia. I'm so gutted he got injured. I really do. I really do think he would have made a big difference for Villa this year. I think we've done very well anyway, but I love him. Emi Buendia in pre-season was just different gravy. And it's so sad to see him injured long term. People kind of forgot about him. If I have missed your comment, do just let me know if it's like a question or whatever. Arsenal clear Real Madrid. When do you think we'll be able to beat Wolves? I hate the fact that Wolves are a bogey team for Villa. I can't even deny it. Wolves are a genuine bogey team for Villa. It's so frustrating to me. Like, no matter how well we do or how badly they play, like, we just can't seem to beat them. I don't get it. Even Watkins, the last kick of the game hit the post at Molineux. Like, it's frustrating. I hope we finally beat them at Villa Park, because we beat everyone at Villa Park. But watch that be the game where with Villa's home record, 15 home wins in a row. Watch it go all the way to Wolves and we won't win. That it'd be such a Villa thing to do. Like, honestly. Leverkusen are 3-0 up. I mean, how well they've done this season. Like, they've been absolutely flying in the Bundesliga this season. Aaron Day says up the Villa on YouTube. And Nicholas says, hey, I support any team that beat Man City at the end of the day. I can't stand City, I've kind of gone after a lot of teams on this live stream. But I just hate everything Man City stand for, That money is the be all and end all, and it doesn't matter about pedigree and football heritage. It's about how much money you've got, and I hate it. I really do. So I will support any Man City downfall. Cross comes in from the right for Villa, and Maric just plucks the ball from the foot of Duran. Not a great finish that from John Duran. A bit awkward for him. He's got a lot of players around him. It's like a flick shot at goal. I don't think that was ever going to threaten the goalkeeper. Do you think we'll win? I hope so, but it's looking a little bit ropey. Zrinjski, they defend with 11 men behind the ball. A very, very difficult low block for Aston Villa to try and break through. We saw at the Villa Park game in the reverse fixture, and it was, that very easily could have been a 0-0 draw. We got a very late winner from John McGinn. I'd like to say we get a win today. I think as soon as the goal comes at any point, I think we'll be fine. But the goal is very much needed, in my opinion. Ash is a Newcastle fan. Sammy says, love the roommate. Cheers. No injuries and you have a chance. Is that a question about if Villa can... Oh, I think he means like... What, today? I think today will be fine. In terms of anything long term, I really hope we win the Conference League. I really do. A lot of people will look at the Conference League and not care, like the Spurs fans or whatever, but I think it means so much to Villa. Look how much it meant to West Ham last year. Like, they actually finally got some European glory. They got, well, not only that, just glory in general. They haven't won a trophy in a very long time. They finally did. And I think it'd be massive for Villa. I've not seen Villa win like a major tournament like in my lifetime. It's kind of sad, really. So I'd love it. I would love it. Guys, double tap the screen. If you're on YouTube, please like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. 22 viewers on YouTube, 18 in the TikTok. Would appreciate any support. I'll be gutted if we fail to win this as Paul. I mean, we have already qualified. If you mean like the game or the trophy. In terms of the game, we've already qualified, so it's not the end of the world. I just think, winning the group is important. Because if you win the group, if you get top of the group in the Conference League, you skip out a round, and I think that would be massive for Villa. It helps with the fixture congestion. And in terms of the trophy, I'd love us to win it. I think it'd be sickening if we got knocked out of this, honestly. Miles, the Arsenal fan, that says you got lucky, by the way. You're right, your own luck, mate. I admit, yeah, we probably shouldn't have won that game, but that's what happens. It's football. You win some, you lose some. I've seen many games where Arsenal have picked up, a point or three where they didn't deserve it. It's what happens. That's what happens. It is what it is, isn't it? Marky says, good luck to you from a United fan. And Mr. McBuff says we're losing. I'll have a look actually in a second what the scores are elsewhere. Because I've got 3 games on my screen, the ones that I care about. It is still... Oh, Liverpool are losing to Royal Union. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Liverpool are still top of the group. If I click on their players, I imagine it's a full change team. Kelleher in goal. Front three of Gordon, Gakpo, and Doak. I mean that that sums it up really. Leverkusen lead 3-0. Someone said that in the chat earlier. Bayer Leverkusen currently flying. That'll be 6 wins out of 6 in the Europa League. I mean, they're doing so well in the Bundesliga. We bought Diaby, one of their best players, and it doesn't seem to affect them at all. In the Conference League, just 2 goals in the whole thing so far today, with Genk leading by 1-0 and Pauk 1-0 down to HJK. It's been a very quiet Conference League so far. Fenerbahce have just taken the lead, though, against Tenava. That has put them into second place as things stand. Massive goal for them, which, I laughed at Fenerbahce because they got beat recently. They got beat 6-1 by Ludogorets, and now, as things stand, they will qualify instead of Ludogorets. The comments I get from Turkish supporters might be brutal today. Hopefully there can be a response to it. Arsenal fans still bitter, says up the Villa, and just wait till you arrive at the Emirates. Yeah, we're not great away from home. Mate, it's been days, right? There's no need to be bitter about the game. You win games, you lose games, man. You just move on, innit? Olsen, I don't know. To be frank, Paul, I don't really care. Olsen's terrible. So, he's on the bench, I think, with... if I have a look, actually, for the substitute. Is he on the bench? I know Martinez is. I've not bothered to check because I don't care. I don't think Olsen is anywhere near good enough for Villa. And I'm hoping that he goes. Honestly, please, just let him go. No, he's not even listed on the bench, so I don't know where Olsen is, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. Do I care? Not really, to be honest, not really. Martinez isn't in goal. It's Philip Marshall, the third choice technically the third choice goalkeeper. Nicholas Winter said Everton get punished for financial fair play, so should City. I mean, that's very obvious. They do have a big court case about that, though. Gypsy Lad says we actually have a good keeper. Nicholas says great manager, great players. Villa have a great chance of winning Europa League. So unfortunate if you don't win. Yeah, well, we'll see. We need to make sure we go into every game in the Conference League. We need to make sure we go in with the right mentality that, we're not going to win every game. We're not going to just turn up and we've won before we've even kicked off. We need to treat every team with respect and play every game with probably the best quality available if we really want to win it. That's just how it is. They just bought a second striker on in place of midfielder. And do you think Villa will get top 4? Possibly. It's gonna be difficult. I think we've done very well, but it's hard for us to keep up the momentum. So I'd love to see us get top 4. I really would. Like I said to you right now, if you offered Villa 5th or 6th and we win the Conference League, I'd take it. Genuinely. Villa new Chelsea. That'd be funny. Nicely said about some Arsenal fans. Do you need us to say better to change the result? I admit that we weren't the better side in that game. I literally admit that. I thought Villa were tired, lethargic, but we got the result, and that matters. People in 2 years, 3 years won't care about the performance. They look at the scoreline. Arsenal on the day were better than Villa. I admit that. It's just sometimes football's it's a tough sport. Shit happens. You're gonna get results you don't deserve. It's unfortunate. I thought we were the better side against Bournemouth. I thought we were robbed against Bournemouth. They should have got a red card in the 25th minute. Didn't happen, and we went on to draw the game. It's football. Shit happens. You just got to move on, and hopefully, towards the end of the season, you don't think about those type of results because you'll have won several games by that point anyway. Just don't rest on those bad results. Just move on. You'll get some better ones. Do you have a partner deal with Royal Union? No, I do not. We don't have Arteta on the sidelines. I don't think a manager's position really matters. He has complete, communication with his staff. I imagine anything he wants to say to the players, he can just communicate to his staff, and it's fine. It does seem a little bit bitter, Miles, mate. I can't lie. I really can't. I'm watching it on TNT Sports 1. if anyone is interested. Hello, sending good vibes. Hope you have an awesome stream. I appreciate you, man. I really do. But like I said, some Arsenal fans will be bitter about it, but honestly, it doesn't matter. I remember games against Arsenal. I thought we deserved more out of it. You know, back in the day, a few years ago. Is what it is. You move on. It's football. Why is Emi Martinez on the bench? He's legendary goalkeeper. I think he's just being rested. With Villa have had to play so many games recently. It's just for fitness. That's all it is. Like, I know people say he's a goalkeeper. Maybe it's just to give Philip Marshall a run out. Like, there's no like major need to win this type of game. As long as we get a draw today, we guarantee top of the group. So hopefully we can get that. I don't think Marshall's going to be under much threat today. So yeah, we don't do well away, Nicholas. To be fair, our away form is terrible. Honestly, I think we do well to take a point. They do have injuries with Umbuemo, and obviously Tony is still suspended. But Villa away from home, we've not been great. And especially against Brentford, we've been awful. Another bogey team for Villa. We don't win away at that ground. Zaniolo's just had a shot saved by Muric at his near post. And now they've got a throw in. Again, wasted. Again, it's just hit and hope from Aston Villa. It's not really doing anything. I've had a couple of these now. It's just been a bit easy for Muric in goal. He's not had any real threat to deal with so far. Very frustrating. I'm half Bosnian, so I'm excited to see what happens to Villa. High up the Villa, says Simon. Liverpool losing. They are indeed losing. It doesn't matter for them though, does it? They've already qualified. The team we're playing Bosnia, I think. I think they're the champions of that league. Come on, you Villa boys. And I think I've read those comments before. Like I said, if I missed your comment, I do apologise. I'm trying to split between a YouTube stream and a TikTok stream. You can come over to the YouTube if you want. We have like a proper overlay in place. We just got some more comments here. Your bloke's room is the Villa's megastar. Mate, if you were... Okay, I will say this to my chat, and I said this last time. If you were a content creator for a football team, would you not want your background to, you know, help the viewing experience? I would rather have that than just a blank screen. Because at one point, this was just a red, you know, a red wall, and it was boring. And I wanted to add something to it, you know? Make it more, I don't know, nicer for background. You need something. Mark Goldbridge has a whole football thing in his background. He has like 50,000 people watching him. Like every live stream. That's why I do it. People take the piss, but I like it. I think it's nice. I do go to games. My uncle is a season ticket holder, and I go to like maybe 4 or 5 games a season. I do vlogs on the channel. If you go on YouTube, type in AJS TV. I've done, I think, was it 3, 4 vlogs on my YouTube channel. So yeah, and they always do pretty well. I enjoy going down the Villa Park. I think the atmosphere since the Championship's not been as good. I will say that, but I do love this club, and you know, any chance I go down to Villa Park, I'll take. You know, it's not a Mario mushroom in the corner. That is a piranha plant. It's from the Mario game. Elite game. We think score B when it comes to Borough versus Villa. We're not great away, and in the cup, we got knocked out first round by Everton. So it's not an easy one. That I think honestly, Middlesbrough fans could be confident about that game. If we were to win, it'd be like maybe 1-0, 2-1. It will be very close. No matter what happens, it'll be very close that game. But I can genuinely see Middlesbrough beating Villa. Like I said, away form's not great. It'll be Villa's second team. Our second team, I mean, you can see today we're goalless away at Zrinjski in the Conference League. Like it's not great. So I don't think Middlesbrough fans should worry too much about Villa really. Even if we do win, it will be close. Are you a Village fan by any chance? Oh my god, you're a psychic. Honestly, you're so smart. Why are Villa bad away from home? That is the question, mate. That really is the question. I think it's down to... I mean, this is just my opinion. I've seen no one talk about it. But different stadiums have different pitch dimensions. And I do think the High Line, it might be a bit difficult to do away from home because some pitches are larger. Like, that is a genuine thing. Like, the Bernabeu is, I think, the widest it can possibly be, for example. And the difference in pitch dimension is crazy. Like, if you go on Football Manager, you can set it. Like, it does make a difference. And yeah, I think that could be down to it. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe the Villa crowd is the 12th man for Villa. Maybe it's as simple as that. I don't know. But it is weird how we do so well at home and we don't do that well away. Yeah. And I mean, today is a perfect example of that. Goalless coming into half time. Moreno with the cross towards Duran. Again, it's another clearance which Diaby has to pick up on the far side. Surely there won't be much added time as well in the end of this game. Players still in the box waiting for a cross, which just doesn't seem to want to happen right now. Douglas Luiz. 3 minutes of added time have been shown. That's poor from Diaby. That's really sloppy from Villa. Could be a counter-attack for Zrinjski if they work it right. Villa, any players? I don't think so. There's not been that many Bosnians in the Premier League. You can think of Edin Dzeko, but I don't know. There's not been too many. 1-0 Legia. It is 1-0 to Legia against AZ Alkmaar. It's also 1-0 to Fenerbahce against Trnava. So Legia, I think as things stand, will be second in the group behind Aston Villa. Just bear with me. For some reason, one of my overlays has just not updated itself. Still doesn't want to. Brilliant. Villa and Newcastle, two teams that need... Okay, why do Villa need to be humble? I've been very humble on this live stream. To be quite fair, I've been very humble. The amount of comments I've got, by the way, I wonder what team he supports. I wonder. I know it's great banter. I gotta say, great banter from my chat. Kolasinac in Arsenal and Dzeko. Yeah, I did say Dzeko. Kolasinac I did forget about, actually. I remember DT always used to complain about him. Not you, but Villa. I mean, so, yeah, you do get that though from most fan bases. You do get some knobs that take it a bit far, you know. Like some Newcastle fans on Twitter were saying, you know, they could win the Premier League in like 2-3 years, and I'm okay. They still have Dan Burn playing, you know. My prediction for today was 1-0, and even that, it's looking a bit ropey, you know. And I've said this in chat as well. I know, look, my background's very Villa, right? I get that. What else am I supposed to have here? If you can give me ideas, let me know. Because, like, I'd rather have that than a boring background. Like, I like Rory Jennings, but his background, his video, it's just plain white bedroom. It's so boring. I want personality in the room. That's why I have the Villa stuff. And people take the piss. And fair enough, it is funny. But I genuinely don't know what I'm supposed to have in the back. Like, no one says this to Mark Goldbridge. Go on a Mark Goldbridge live stream, and at the back, it's just footballs, and Man United books, and Man United, like everything. Like the book about Ferguson. There's like logos. There's all sorts, you know. Serious question, mate. Was that a pen for Arsenal the weekend? Your opinion? Very good question, actually. I'm glad someone's asked that. Letter of the law. It is a penalty. I do think, though, the law should change. I do think the law should actually change. Because I find it weird how a defender can accidentally touch the ball with his hand and it's fine. But if an attacker accidentally touches the ball with his hand, it's not fine. I do find that weird. How there seems to be like a double jeopardy. I think that rule probably should change. But the referees technically did their job. It's just the rule's terrible. So, yeah, like, you know, on the same day, Bournemouth had their fourth goal against United ruled out because, like, I think on the rebound, it hit Semenyo's arm or something, and the goals took off. I find it... I don't like the fact that goals are ruled out for that, personally. So, yeah, the referees technically didn't do any wrong, but the rule's stupid. I agree with it. I do agree with that. My opinion on Zrinjski, they're a very good side, actually. I think they defend very well. They defend as a unit. And we struggled in our 2 games. We beat them 1-0 off a 90th minute goal. And it's 0-0 here. And it might finish 0-0, genuinely. The Jesus penalty. That one, I've seen them given. I felt it was a little bit soft. But you have seen them given. I don't know. I don't think that... what doesn't help Jesus, he goes down like he's been shot. I don't think that helps. If he went down in a more natural way, I do think he probably gets the decision. But he feels the slightest contact from Douglas Luiz, and he goes down like he got shot. I just don't think that helps him. It might be a penalty. It probably is. But he's kind of simulated the like half the contact himself by just diving down. That's the problem, you know? Like I said, we've seen them given. Personally, I don't want those given in the sport, but that probably is a penalty these days. I don't know. I think Villa were a little bit fortunate, but you make your own luck sometimes. Palace got the same challenge. Penalty. I mean, Crystal Palace were a bit robbed against Liverpool, but no one really talks about that. What other questions? So I've had quite a few comments tonight. This is an office room. This genuinely is. Look, I'll share the live stream. This is an office room. This is all an office. Like, this is why this is a Villa thing everywhere. Right? This is an office room. This is why I have my Villa stuff, my Villa live streams, like my PCs here. So yeah, for anyone who's wondering. Do you like West Brom? I mean, they're local rivals. Personally, I only care about Birmingham City in terms of like local rivalry. Maybe put Wolves in that, but I don't know. I don't really care about West Brom personally. Like some older Villa fans do. West Brom seem to hate Villa. To be fair, anyone in the Midlands hates Aston Villa. But I don't really care. Coventry hate Villa. Like, I don't care about Coventry at all. I'm sorry, I'm reading some comments on YouTube now. The game is even... this game's been very boring, Paul, I will say that. It's low block versus attack. It's not going to be fun. And Flatcap says, I'd angle the camera slightly to only show the claret. Slow 45 minutes. It feels like we're grinding this one out. Exactly the same as the first game at home against them. Very boring. They hate us because we're the best. I do think that's partly the case, yeah. Our Villa top of the group. We are top. We've already qualified. We don't need to get a result today. The only thing we need is a point to win the group. But it's not massive. It is. I mean, you get like, I think winning the group, you skip out a round, which it is kind of important. But there's no like real incentive to not, you know, we don't have to win today is what I'm trying to say. What other comments have I got as well? The game has been very boring, I will say. Did you expect anything different? I'll ask my chat that. Did you expect I didn't expect anything different today. The way they played at Villa Park, I knew it'd be, 11 men behind the ball, their furthest player forwards, 30 yards from their goal line. I knew it'd be that. I'm not surprised at all that this is the way they play, because it worked against us in the first game. So why would they change anything? Like, their low block, we struggled, and it had to be like a John McGinn header with like a minute to go to rescue a win. But like, I don't expect anything different from a game like this. No way. And if it works for Zrinjski, fair enough. Sorry, I think I've read all the comments now. But yeah, so far, I mean, it's not amazing from Villa. Like 5 out of 10 performance, really. But it's difficult. A lot of these players don't play every week. Zaniolo, I mean, I think he's got 1 assist in 20 plus games for Villa now. Dendoncker doesn't play. Ramsey's back from injury. Duran up front instead of Watkins. McGinn's on the bench. Carlos, who had a man of the match performance against Arsenal's on the bench. No Martina. I mean, they've not really threatened anything down the other end. Zaniolo's so bad. I've said this before. Yeah, Paul, nail on the head. Zaniolo is terrible. I'm sorry to the Galatasaray fans, right? who've been following Villa since we've signed him. He's been awful. I'm so glad it's a loan. Zaniolo is the worst player at Aston Villa. The only one I'd say is better than, well, the only one he's probably better than is Olsen. But he's a goalkeeper, so you can't really compare. But he's awful. Zaniolo is terrible. I don't know how he had a brilliant goal record. He played for Roma and Galatasaray, and he's had a good record there. I don't know how. I really don't know how. Because Zaniolo, he's clunky on the ball. It's like you're playing FIFA and it's like a bronze player out there. It's like he's clunky, man. Doesn't provide anything going forward. He actually had the ball ricochet to him on the 6 yard in the 6 yard box. He put it over. Like, you couldn't ask for an easier chance, really. Like, honestly, so frustrating. To be honest, it's your tournament to lose. I mean, some teams will disagree with that. I think we're major favourites. I'll agree with that. I do think, Villa, Fenerbahce, those are the sides you're looking at possibly to win the whole thing. It's not going to be easy though. It's not going to be easy. The teams that we play, it's hard to break down low block, and we're going to be playing a lot of low block in this tournament. Any big teams coming down from the Europa League? To be honest, I've not really checked because I only want to focus on what Aston Villa do. But I've seen what's the big team that's dropped from, because like the Europa League has got some from the Champions League. Like Man United could have, but they finished bottom of the group. So Galatasaray go into the Europa League now. Because I think they lost to Copenhagen. I've not actually seen from the Europa League. I could actually have a look, to be honest, and have a little review. I'll not bother to check. But you are right, that does make things a bit awkward if some big side comes into it. Let's have a look. Olympiacos could potentially. Ajax, AEK Athens, Sparta Prague. Nothing really. Without being harsh, I think that probably the best side out of all this could be like Olympiacos or Athens coming into it, and it's actually the final is in Athens, so that could help them actually as well. But no, like major team I think is dropping into it, at least from what I can see. I mean, Royal Union have just beating Liverpool 2-1. Are currently third, so they will go into the Conference League. But yeah, I mean, no scary team really. I'm not too worried, to be honest. Zaniolo and Diaby need to get better. I mean, at least Diaby has flashes of quality. I've just not seen anything positive from Zaniolo. Like, am I being too harsh? Like, let me know what you think. Like, do you think Zaniolo is a good player, or at least good for Aston Villa? I don't think so. I've not seen a single game where Zaniolo has really impressed me, like at all. We are away. Sorry, I had a comment earlier from Davey Boy and he said, "Are we home and away?" We are away. And the score is 0-0 for anyone interested. I haven't rated him since he joined. How many villager? I have a lot, to be fair. I do have a lot. I put a couple in the back. If you go onto my YouTube, I'm live on YouTube right now, and I think you can see some more on the screen there. Collected them since I was a kid, obviously. Already booked flights to Athens for the final. I mean, that is it's ballsy. I hope we go that far. Going on 30th Burnley, and someone said he hasn't rated him. What do you think of Zaniolo? I think Zaniolo is just, he's disappointing. He's disappointing. That's what I'll say. Where's the end product? Where is the end product? Please tell me. How has he scored goal? He's been like, I think he had 5 in 5 for Galatasaray. How? Like, is the Turkish league that bad? But then he did okay in Italy, so I really don't understand how Zaniolo has done so well for other teams. I really don't get it. Maybe he's played in a different way. Maybe the football doesn't suit him. But you'd still think you'd see something by now. Johnny Walker says Meatball McGinn. I know the Scottish people, they love John. I think John McGinn is incredible. Like 2 years ago, I'm not joking. Villa fans wanted McGinn to go. Like, a lot of Villa fans were against John McGinn playing. McGinn under Gerrard was getting so much abuse. But under Unai Emery is a different player. Absolute different player. Him and Douglas Luiz, believe it or not, was also getting a lot of stick. McGinn used to play in defensive midfield. It's just not his role at all. I'm a Galatasaray fan and he played well at us. And no, that's fair enough, right? And look, I've even said, like, he's done well. Zaniolo has done well at other teams. But I've not seen it at Villa. And it's frustrating because, like, you know, it hurts me. I see him do well elsewhere and he comes to Villa and he struggles, you know? I do have some Birmingham City fans in the comments, as always. How you guys been with Wayne Rooney? How many games has it been now? What, 9 games, 1 win? Not looking too good for the Blue Noses. Not looking too good at all. You want a genuine conversation about Blues, we can have it. Like, they did very well. I think they beat West Brom. I even watched the game. They beat West Brom 3-1. I was actually concerned. I was thinking, you know, this year, Birmingham looked different. Eustace was the manager. They'd been playing very well. I was concerned you'll go up. You sack him, bring in Wayne Rooney, 1 win in 9. Is it 1 win in 9, 2 in 10? I just know it's bad. I know it's bad. How? How is that? Why has that happened? How have Birmingham City gone from a side in the playoffs, genuinely worrying me about if they could go up, and then they fall to pieces? I know the whole thing about Rooney, right? It was all for publicity. They've got who was that American? Tom Brady. They got Brady in there. And it's all about big names. That's what I think this whole Rooney thing was all about. It's about getting big names at St Andrews. Like, it's mental. It's mental. Like, you can't sack a manager that's doing a good job. When is that ever a good idea? Like, honestly, Eustace was doing very well. It reminds me, and I know the Blues fans in the chat will, you know, they'll understand what I'm saying here. It reminds me so much of the Gary Rowett situation. I remember a few years ago, Rowett was doing very well at Blues. I think also, just like recently, had them in the playoffs. And they sack him, bring in Zola, and nearly relegates him. Like, what's the decision-making at that club? It's so baffling. Like, obviously, I'm a Villa fan, so I'm only seeing, like, what I can see, right? I'm not in the Blues forum. Like, I don't know, like, the ins and outs of Birmingham City, but it's absolutely crazy what I see over there, like, sometimes. Eustace was, I genuinely believe if Eustace was the manager of Blues right now, they'd be in the playoffs. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe that. But, you know, Rooney's put them nearly in a relegation battle. It's crazy. It's mad. Absolutely crazy. And look, I know managers make a difference because Gerrard had this Aston Villa team 17th and now, you know, we're 3rd in the Premier League. You know, and just in the space of one manager, barely anyone has come in. Alex Moreno was a Unai signing. John Duran was, but he doesn't play. I'm trying to think of other big players that have come. I don't really think so. I think most of them, if not all, were under the Dean Smith and Gerrard era. And they work differently with Unai now. It's crazy. But yeah, barely anyone has come in. Barely anyone has come in. I think Unai Emery's done an incredible job at Aston Villa. The RB was a good signing, 50 million. I'll give you that. But I mean, okay, let's go through this. Cash wasn't an Unai signing. Konza wasn't. Torres was, and Moreno, but Moreno's been out injured for most of this. Zaniolo's alone. Douglas Luiz wasn't. Ramsey wasn't. Duran again doesn't really play for Aston Villa. Martinez wasn't. Carlos wasn't. McGinn wasn't. Watkins wasn't. Like, the core of Villa's team was under Steven Gerrard. That's that simple. Ipswich Norwich prediction. Ipswich have been flying. Like, you can't deny that. The top of the league. I don't think any Ipswich fan thought that was going to happen. So you got to say they are the major favourites for that. And fair enough. We've spent loads of money. I mean, yes, we have, but everyone has. Chelsea have spent £1 billion in a year. Where are they? I'll ask you that. Man talks a lot. Wait, is it man? No, not man talks a lot. Sorry, you actually were on my side. John Boyley said you spent loads of money. Mate, Chelsea spent $1 billion. What have they done? Where are Chelsea in the table? Answer me that. Where are Chelsea? Where are Man United? Man United have spent $1 billion or over $1 billion in the last, 10 years? Where are Man United? Just because you spent loads of money doesn't necessarily equate to, oh, we're now incredible. Like, yeah. We have spent money, I agree. We have spent money. And look, you said, you're a Newcastle fan. You've spent not a lot of money considering the owners you've had, but, you've done well. I know this season's not been amazing, but you've had injuries. Away from home has not been great. But you've not only... It's about spending money and as well having a manager there to... to coach the players in the right way, to play a correct system. Chelsea, with all the money they've spent, are awful. I don't think we'll ever see a story of a team spending $1 billion and going backwards. Crazy. We have just kicked off for the second half. I am waffling as always. It is still Zrinjski 0, Aston Villa 0. Neither side have really created any clear-cut chance other than Zaniolo having a half volley inside the 6-yard, but he should have really hit the target at least. Been the only major chance for Villa. A couple of deflected shots from distance. Other than that, not a lot for Aston Villa, unfortunately. Liverpool fan, I love Aston Villa. Respect, dude. Appreciate your support, man. Hopefully we can continue the form for Villa today. Well, not just today, but this season too. Yeah, we've not spent that much. We just made smart signings. I agree. I think the only one I disagree with Zaniolo, but at least it's a loan, which was smart. Imagine if we bought Zaniolo and then we've seen how bad he's been. Like, that would have been obviously a bad financial decision, but we've loaned him. That's clever. That is clever. Wait, is you saying you can't say Emery is... Some people are saying, I don't know what the narrative people are supposed to be showing me in the chat, but people saying, oh, Unai Emery's not that good because we spent loads of money. We spent most of that money with Gerrard. We were nearly in the relegation battle. Jones or Zaniolo, who's worse? Well, I'm telling you right now, Zaniolo is one of the worst players in the Premier League. I'm not joking. He's painfully bad. Chance of Villa. But Duran doesn't really hold the ball up very well. It kind of skims off his foot. Yeah, his hold up play needs to be better there. He's back to goal. It's not easy, to be fair. He's not a target man, but he should really hold that for at least another second, maybe. Duran then tries to combine with Ramsey and loses the ball. This is what I'm talking about. We've got a backup to Watkins, but it's just not as good. Anywhere near as good as Ollie Watkins. Free kick to Zrinjski on the halfway line for, I believe, a handball from Matty Cash. Emery and Howe have done incredible jobs. Yeah, they have. They've done brilliant. They've done absolutely brilliant. I think Howe this year... Some people will give Howe some criticism because, they've lost recently. They got knocked out of the Champions League. They did have the group of death. I'll give them credit. It's not... I mean, any team is going to struggle, qualifying out of that group. Dortmund, AC Milan, PSG. They beat PSG 4-0 and didn't qualify. That's mental to say that out loud. Got scammed as well. They should have beat PSG. The penalty to PSG in the home game was a joke. I think they've had a little wobble recently, but they'll be back to their form soon. I just think they need to get a couple of wins at St James to get some results and some confidence back in the players, really. Crazy to see a Newcastle Villa Brighton up there when we all came up together. I mean, I think Brighton are one of the most well-run teams in the country. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Teams like Chelsea need to look at the way Brighton do things, honestly. Ramsey's cross is deflected towards Duran, but again, there's so many players in the Zrinjski box that make it so hard for Villa to create anything. They throw everybody back. So any cross, it's just we're aiming for one or two players, but there's 6 Zrinjski players in the box defending. Moreno now combining with Ramsey. Ramsey he just doesn't really have an option. He goes back to Douglas Luiz. This game has been so dull. we're playing okay. It's just not. There's no end product once again for Villa. It's the second team Villa. It's not the same. It's not the same at all. There's a reason why most of these players don't play for Aston Villa like the first team. So that's my answer to that. It's been okay, but no end product. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, the whole Brighton setup is amazing, absolutely amazing. I love what Brighton do. They always find these talented players, buy them for like virtually nothing, and then sell them for an insane amount. Moses Caicedo, a perfect example, 115 million for like one good year at Brighton, really. I'm only streaming the Villa game. I'll do a video about this game as well after. I'll be talking about some other stuff in the Europa League, Conference League, maybe the Champions League as well. But I'm only doing a Villa live stream. Isla, Riley and Amaya said, "Hi, I love Villa." Well, I appreciate that. I'm sure, I mean, Villa have been doing very well recently, so it's very easy to love Villa. That's also a foul on Moreno. I've just seen as the corner came in, the Villa fans wanted the attention from the referee, and I've just seen why. Moreno's shirt was pulled in the box. And a penalty wasn't given. You've seen him given. You've seen him given. Just reading some more comments. Guys, double tap the screen. Would massively appreciate your support on the TikTok. If you haven't already on YouTube, please do hit that like button. If you want to watch the stream on YouTube, AJS TV. I do every Aston Villa game live. And yeah, I think the YouTubes are better for the viewing experience anyway. So I've got the overlay for the Villa game on, and we get to see our group and how well other teams are doing. Fenerbahce now lead 2-0 against Trnava, and will most likely have confirmed their qualification, unless Ludogorets get a result. I think they desperately need one now. I'm just going to have a look at what's going on. I think they need to win now. Just bear with. I'm now intrigued. Europa League. Where's the Conference League? Trying to find. There it is. So they are in Group H. Yeah, so Fenerbahce on top of the group. Oh dear. Nordsjælland 0, Ludogorets 0. Yeah, I think they're qualified now. All they need to do is win, and they have made it. I can't see Trnava bottom of the group, 1 point in the whole group. I can't see them getting a result now. 2-0 down. Bailey's not playing. I think Bailey. But I don't think Bailey's even included on the substitute bench for Villa today. We've got to look at the likes of McGinn, Watkins, off the substitute bench. I think Digne is playing on the bench as well for Aston Villa, but no Leon Bailey. I do think we miss him. I think Bailey's been brilliant for Villa this season. And I think we've missed him in this Villa side, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, Digne. The Digne, Kamara, McGinn, Watkins, those are like the main subs really. I don't really want to see Chambers on. Martinez is the keeper. O'Reilly's an academy player. So in terms of like, if things are getting desperate, bring on McGinn and Watkins. But we don't need to win this game. A draw is enough to win the group. And they're not really doing anything. So it is what it is. Dean Ricketts says, sorry I'm late again. No worries, man. And Urban says, just sub from TikTok. I appreciate your support, man. I really do. Guys, do hit the like button on the live stream. I have been focusing mainly on TikTok. I've had a lot of questions from TikTok, so I apologise. But it's hard to balance between the YouTube and the TikTok, man. It's not easy. I'll get better, you know. Villa are boring. I mean, you can say Villa are boring, but we're not the side with 11 men behind the ball. But yeah, I will admit the game has been boring, but Villa, in terms of like our first team and in the Premier League, we play very exciting football. It's high line football. It's not low block. It's aggressive. We press high. I think it's one of the most exciting teams in the Premier League. There's a reason why, we like playing the bigger sides, and we do usually quite well against them. Big up the Villa boys. Creator, how are you? I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. How are you doing? How's everyone in chat doing? I appreciate all the likes. Do double tap the screen. Very much appreciate that. Bring on O'Reilly. Give him some minutes in the first team. I won't mind that. Like I said, if if, and a big if, Zrinjski got the 1-0 lead, and we're looking like we're not going to win the group, then we need to look, more to the likes of Watkins and McGinn. But I think a 0-0 is fine to, bring on him, I guess. Need Aston to score first, says Abra. And what you got? And Zabika says, guys, what do you think? What do you think Villa can win? You need to be clear on what you're asking there. Chats Moreno cross towards Duran, but really good goalkeeping from Muric again. Is brave because he has to dive into the feet of John Duran. But he does get to the ball. The cross from Moreno is not brilliant, to be fair. Good pass from, I think it's Jacob Ramsey into Moreno. Yeah, his cross was poor, really. It's a bit too close to the keeper and not enough on it. It needs to be whipped with more pace, really. I've put money on Villa. I mean, if you put money on Villa to win, maybe it will come through. I just don't see either team scoring. It's been, to be fair, I didn't see anyone scoring in the first game as well. It's just been very, very, boring. Neither team have created anything. The low block has restricted Villa. We're not creating anything. So yeah. I hope your bet goes well. Not just for you, but for me. There is a chance for Zrinjski on the break. Cross comes into the far side. Oh, it's overhit. Massively overhit. And it's a chase for a Babia to... Yeah, that's poor. The cross to Babija was... Is it Babija? It was really poor from the right. He had to chase the ball. Then he puts it back in. And it was easily defended by Aston Villa. Each team has more than one shot. Fair enough. I'm trying to think, did I read any more comments? Favourite Villa player of all time? Mine's John Carew. Proper soft spot for him. Probably Ashley Young. Growing up, my first game at Aston Villa, I was 9 years old. And, the likes of John Carew, Ashley Young, James Milner, Stuart Downing. That was like the Villa team I grew up with. So any of those, I would say. But it probably would be probably Ashley Young. Probably second to that is probably Stuart Downing, which is crazy to say. Should I take the money out? What would you do? Well, it depends on how much you can take out it for. Because Villa do usually find a way. We found a way in the 93rd minute against this side at home. So you never know. It's just... We're not really creating a great deal. We keep having half chances with some long shots. Subs are coming on. John McGinn and Digne are about to come on. So you could hold out a little bit. John McGinn was, man of the match against Arsenal in my eyes. I think the actual man of the match award went to Diego Carlos, but McGinn ran that midfield. And Digne has been actually very good for Villa recently. So I'm happy to see those two come on. I put on 4 team 3s winning, just waiting on Villa. Oh, fair enough, man. That's hard. That's a hard question to answer. Should you cash out? I would be tempted, because, like I said, we've had maybe 1-2 shots on target all game, and we're in the 57th minute, still goalless. We don't look like conceding, but we've not really created anything. Duran has not been involved in this game at all. Zaniolo has been very poor, but I think the subs of John McGinn could help, and Digne will be very aggressive down the left. So maybe we get that goal. I really hope it's gonna. I mean, a 0-0 is not the worst result in the world. Cash on the overlap takes a very heavy touch. Now, if Cash's touch there was better, we would have been inside the box on the byline, and that would have been a really dangerous chance. But Cash's touch is horrendous, and Zrinjski get a goal kick. How far do you expect Villa to... I hope we go all the way. I expect Villa to at least get to semi-final, really. I would question Villa if we were knocked out before that. I'd want I want a genuine reason for us to not go that far. I don't think you could be able to provide me one. Maybe like bad officiating or something like that, or an early red card, but we realistically should be at least in the semi-final. I want us to win the whole thing, though. I think we are favourites for a reason. And I hope we can make it all the way. What other comments have I missed? I've missed a couple today. Well, yeah, on YouTube, Cash the Polish Snafu. And Dean says, you need to watch this YouTuber's video. He explains how we have strong Premiership title contenders using some stats of real mine. I think links are removed from YouTube. Are you on about James Alcott? Because I watch a lot of his videos and he does breakdowns on Villa's tactics, which is quite nice actually. He does quite well. He's got quite good ball knowledge. Do you think Villa's going to win? Says Isla. I'm just going to read out the first name. I hope so, but the longer this game goes on, the more I'm thinking it's probably going to be a very boring 0-0 draw. We're not really creating anything. Luiz has the ball, edge of the box. Not really forced Muric into a single good save. He's made a couple half saves, like shots straight at him, shots you'd expect to be kept out. Shots Onana would struggle with. There you go. I just want more, you know. I just want more for the keeper to worry about. Luiz for Villa. Into Digne, the substitute. Come on. It's very slow. It's very patient build up from Villa. I think it kind of needs to be because the amount of players they've got back. Diaby into Konza. The whole team is back defending. This is exactly what I mean. 11 men behind the ball. The furthest player is 35 yards from their goal. It happens every single time. McGinn gets the cross in. Good ball! Zaniolo! Yes! 1-0 Villa! And it's Nicolo Zaniolo. I can't believe he scored. Zaniolo has scored. Aston Villa do take the lead. And it's the guy I've been slating the entire game. You know, I'll hold my hand up. I've been criticising Zaniolo the entire game. But Zaniolo has actually scored a goal for Aston Villa. He's actually scored. I've just realised as well on my YouTube stream, I've got the club badges the wrong way around. I've just realised that. But it is 1-0 to Villa. Really good finish. Good cross in as well into the box. Zaniolo got into space. And, I mean, I was still worried he was going to miss, you know. The amount of chances he has wasted, I wasn't thinking he was going to score. It's really harsh I'm saying that. But it's a nice finish, and I think it's a deserved lead for Villa. We've not created too many chances, but we've done more than they have. And I'm very glad to see we've scored. John McGinn off the bench with an assist. McGinn's cross into Zaniolo. Lovely goal. Villa 1, Zrinjski 0, and it's 4-0 to Fenerbahce as well in their game. Bloody hell. Yeah, I've literally said how bad I even said, I'll hold my hand up. I've said how bad Zaniolo's been the whole game. I still stand by it. I still think, you know, his end product is usually terrible, right? I still stand by this. But he has scored. He has made me look like a mug, and I'll admit to that. But one goal in, how many games for Aston Villa I don't think it changes my opinion. Happy to see him score, and I said at the very start of my live stream, I wanted either Duran if I could pick a Villa goal scorer, I said I either wanted Duran, Jacob Ramsey, or Zaniolo. Those are my three. Because Zaniolo, they need like a pick up in confidence, you know. So he's played 10 games for Villa in the Premier League. He's played 1 domestic cup game and 5 Conference League games. He's finally scored. That is 17 games for Aston Villa, and he's finally got his goal. I'm very pleased for him. I'm very pleased for him. I can't lie, not going unbeaten in this group is wild. We have won. To be fair, Harry, as things stand, we would have lost 1 and have won the rest. So we'll be on. I am right in that, aren't I? I think that is true. I think we've won. Yeah, we've won every other game. It's not terrible. That's still 15 points in a group out of a possible 18. That's not bad. The only defeat was away at Legia Warsaw, who have qualified with us, as things stand. So not bad at all. I'm just reading some comments. Do you know why Villa's doing well? Unai Emery. That's my answer to that question. Philip Marshall having the easiest. I mean, he's had like a picnic at the other end of the ground. He's had a great time. You or Arsenal win the league? I think he's talking to a Liverpool fan, I'm guessing. We're losing 3-1. Villa on fire. He has shut me. I did say Zaniolo shut me up a little bit. I'm still right with what I've said, right? You know, people criticise Onana. Just because Onana has 1 good game doesn't mean all the criticism about Onana suddenly shouldn't happen. He's on. Yeah, shit guy finally scored. Exactly. Perfect. Thank you, Whaley. There. Shit guy finally scored. That's basically what it is. I want him to do well. I give criticism when it's valid, you know, and when it deserves to be. Chance for Zrinjski. Oof, that cross should have been better, really. That was a good opportunity for them down the left-hand side. It was a cross, I think, from Ivancic into the box, and no one there. That is a bit of a let-off for Villa. They finally actually got inside the box, and they were looking threatening there. So you'd imagine the goal would open up the game a little bit, but they're already out. So I still think they'll provide a low block in this. I don't think there's any need for them to try and win the game. So I still think this low block will exist, unfortunately. Diaby. Matty Cash for Aston Villa. 65 gone, Zrinjski 0, Villa 1 is the scoreline. Villa will top the group as things stand. I mean, for us to not win the group, we'd have to lose this game. Regardless what happens, it's still 1-0 to Legia Warszawa in their game against Ainz and Alkmaar. So Alkmaar will be going out alongside Zrinjski. Cash for Villa. Again, it's the slow build-up. Some people will criticise it because, you know, we were 0-0 against a low block side, but the slow build-up worked. And McGinn got space, got the cross in. How good of a player has John McGinn been, by the way? Barely been on the pitch, and he puts the cross that actually finds a man for the first time today. Because basically every cross Villa have put in has either gone to a Zrinjski shirt or just ahead of everyone. It has been pretty poor. But it was a John McGinn cross that found Zaniolo. Aston Villa doing really good. We are doing very good. A goal kick has been given and Digne is fuming at the referee. Well, from my angle, it looked like a corner as well, so I see why he's frustrated. There is going to be some subs for the home side. And a striker is going to come on in Zabalicic, and Hananovic is also going to come on. There'll be a double sub for them. I'm watching on TNT Sport. You can watch with me. I think TNT Sports 1 and number 2 is showing the Liverpool game. It is 2-1 to Union in that game. That'll be it. I mean, Jurgen Klopp, I don't know what you'd expect, really. He's put a second team out there and they don't need to win, so I'm not sure he'll be too surprised that they're struggling. But Marshall gonna bag. He is. Blood is gonna bag. Very tight, the handball. Oh, people talking about the handball again for the Arsenal goal? Well, the goal that wasn't given. Oh no, wait, handball in the Liverpool game. What happened? Was there a goal disallowed or something? I've not seen anything about the Liverpool game, to be honest. I just know they're losing 2-1. Kelleher for Liverpool had a chance to prove himself today. Kelleher's terrible. Like, Kelleher and Olsen are the same person. I'm telling you now. Kelleher is genuinely just as bad as Olsen. I've seen the light. Every time he's been in goal for Liverpool, he's had an absolute disaster. He was abysmal against Fulham. Liverpool had to score 4 worldies and conceded 3 horrendous goals. Like, it's ridiculous. I genuinely feel for Liverpool fans when he's in goal. The difference between him and Alisson is night and day. I know Alisson's world class anyway, but if anything, it makes it worse because you see the difference like even more than most teams would. So I do feel for him. Anyway, guys, on YouTube, 27 of you in the YouTube live. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. For those on TikTok, I am live on YouTube. If you want to watch the stream with graphics on screen and all that good stuff, you can go AJS TV on YouTube. I'm off to Villa next Friday. What are the best pubs for away fans? Well, you've got a lot in Birmingham, to be honest. If you want to, some teams have like a stop off in some local places. You can go to Sutton Coldfield. If you go to Tamworth, you've got the Penny Black. A lot of away fans go there. If you're going away at Birmingham City or away at Villa, people go there. I mean, there's Villa pubs like the Witten Arms if they let you in, maybe. But there are some good options for Aston Villa. You got some that will only cater to home fans, some that will cater to the away. So yeah, you'll be fine. There are so many. There are so many in Birmingham. There's like inside Birmingham city centre. There's like 4 Wetherspoons. So like you'll have loads of places to go to. So refreshing to see TikTok is not just for... Oh, cheers. Exactly. See, that's what's nice about TikTok, isn't it? You don't get the all the pretty people. You get me. Cheers, sweet. Gakpo's been so poor for us, says Mr. McBosh. And where can you watch it? I'm watching on TNT Sport, mate. I watch on TNT Sport. If you're on about the game today, I don't know about future games for Aston Villa. We'll have to wait and see. Diego Carlos is now on for Villa. And Gakpo's been... Oh, no, I think I've just read that. I think I'm going senile in my old age. Super John McGinn says Flat Cap Gaming. Aston Villa doing really well. John McGinn, I mean, other than Douglas Luiz, probably player of the season so far, to be honest. I think he's been top class. Absolute top class. Free kick comes in. That's a sitter. How has Zrinjski not scored? We'll have to see if the offside flag will come up as well, because Villa's high line. But it's actually Corluka, the right back for Zrinjski. He's offside. I do think he's possibly offside there anyway. But in front of goal, smashes it over. That is a horrendous miss. Whether you're onside or not, that's a terrible miss. That's easily their best chance of the game. 20 minutes to go here. Diego Carlos has been top class. Thanks for the rose, F1 Matt. Appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I barely go live on TikTok, so you're already one of the highest donators. Cross comes in towards Duran. Again, Duran has just been... He has been feeding off scraps a little bit in this game. But his positioning could be a bit better. He doesn't get in... I know, maybe I'm being a bit critical because of the low blocker Zrinjski, but he doesn't get himself into space too often. I think which is why it's hard to find him. See, Duran there trying to chase a through ball and he's too slow and the ball goes out for a goal kick. Chambers and Carlos on for Cash and Torres, says Flat Cap Gaming. I've seen Carlos. I was looking at my chat, so I'm guessing Chambers was the other change as well. Carlos has been very good this season. It's a shame he's had injury issues, but other than that, he's been top class. I mean, you can't really blame... It's like Chelsea fans blaming Reece James for his injuries. When he's been called upon... He did make a mistake against Bournemouth. He gave the ball away for their first goal, but other than that, I think he's been very good. He was the best player, according to TNT Sports, when we played Arsenal at home. And I would have given it to John McGinn personally, but Diego Carlos was very good. I see what you mean, Euler. I see what you mean. Brighton drawing to Sheffield United and Burnley at home isn't being talked about enough. Yeah, they've had a bit of a wobble. Since Villa beat them 6-1, they've not been the same. And I still stand by that. I stand by that. Zaniolo wins a throw for Villa. Remember when League 2 I do. I was very young for that. I do, unfortunately. League 2 Bradford. That was a Paul Lambert Villa side in the semi-final. We lost. We got battered at their ground 3-1, I think. Went to Villa Park. We beat them 1-0. But obviously we lost an aggregate. And it was very, very disappointing. If we'd have been... I honestly think if we'd have actually gone through, we'd have won it. Because Swansea... They had Michu, I guess. He was a good player for them. But I do back Villa to have beaten Swansea in the final. I know I'm saying that after we just got knocked out by Bradford, but we would have put a better performance than the 5-0 hammering that Swansea gave to Bradford. Mate, Paul Lambert is... I don't care what anyone says. Paul Lambert Villa was the worst Villa I've ever seen. Honestly. Paul Lambert Villa was horrendous. We got beat 8-0 by Chelsea. I think you can look this up as well. I think we beat Liverpool 3-1 and then went away at Chelsea and got hammered 8-0 in the space of a week. Horrendous. He got given a contract as well. Oh my God, Zrinjski nearly equalised. The ball just bobbled to the back post. How has this not gone in? What? That's a horrendous miss. Villa are very lucky to be 1-0 up, by the way. There's been 2 big chances now for the Bosnian side. Oh, he's hooked that shot well wide of the post. Yeah, Konza just let him go. That was Konza's man. And the shot is about like a foot wide. That is really poor from Villa. We got away with one there. Actually, we're actually escaping chances against Zrinjski. This is incredible. Happy for Zaniolo. I think Swansea could have beat Villa, to be fair. Fair enough. I mean, probably. We did have Lambert in charge. Second worst Villa manager, Alex McLeish. There you go. McLeish was terrible. McLeish Villa was awful. You could also say Remy Gard. I think Remy Gard was up there for one of our worst. I won't say Sherwood because Sherwood was given false promises from Randy Lerner, and I'm not surprised because he said the same things to Martin O'Neill in the past. So I don't blame him at all. So I'll ask my YouTube chat as well. Who do you think the worst Villa managers in history? Who are the worst? Remy Gard was terrible for Villa. Come on, Eric. Remy Gard was awful. Remy Gard was absolutely terrible. Steve Bruce stabilised Villa. Massive respect for him for that. He wasn't a very good manager, though. I will say, I'll give him some credit because he did get Villa to a final. We played Fulham in the promotion final and lost. But he played very boring football. We had one of the richest teams in the Championship, and we were going for 1-0 wins. And he'd go really defensive. He'd play Jedinak at centre back, if you guys remember that. He'd play players out of position constantly. That was like the thing Bruce would do all the time. It's not just at Villa as well. He'd play players out of position at Newcastle. Duran has a shot, saved by Muric. Sorry, out of nowhere. Duran is now down holding his ankle as well. Just a snapshot from John Durant at the near post, saved. Oh, he's in a lot of pain as well. Here, just seeing the replay. Gets the shot away. I think he kicks the studs of a Zrinjski defender, I believe. Good defending. To be fair, it's unfortunate that happens, but it is what it is. These managers make Gerrard look decent. Let's have a look. Julio weren't that bad. Julio got us, 11th in the table? I think we weren't terrible, Julio. It was kind of like the start of the downfall, but he wasn't awful at Villa, to be quite fair. There's been a lot worse. I mean, the bar is very, very low. I will say that. Man United is your favourite team. And, the players, Duran is back up on his feet. He's okay. Digne corner for Villa. 90. I don't know what I'm saying these days. 77 minutes into this game, still 1-0 to Aston Villa. John McGinn plays it back to Digne. He took the corner. Digne gets the cross in. It's dangerous. It had to be defended at the near post. See, I wanted crosses like that all game. We didn't whip a ball like that before John McGinn came on. The crosses were really slow. Barely hit with any venom. And that's what I like about Digne's crosses are whipped with pace. And it is a nightmare to deal with. We've been missing that most of the game. The two players to come on were McGinn and Digne, who are both very good at doing that. And it was McGinn's cross that led to the Villa goal. Zaniolo scored a tap-in, so yes, I did. He did make me look like a mug, I will say. I've been criticising Zaniolo all game, but like I said, you can use Onana as an example. Onana has been awful for Man United. You can have one good game, and what do you suddenly say? Oh yes, let's forget about all the mistakes Onana has made because he's had one good game. No, you got to remember it all, you know? Like, Zaniolo has been terrible for Villa. He's done okay today, got the goal. So far is a massive goal for Villa because it's put us top of the group, 15 points out of a possible 18 against a very frustrating low block side. But it still doesn't excuse the amount of terrible games he's had, you know? Opinion on winning the league probably won't happen. I'm not deluded. I'd love to see us do it. It would be an incredible story. I just think it's very hard to keep up, these performances every single week when you're in Europe and you're in, other tournaments. So we're out of the League Cup, but we're in the FA Cup against Middlesbrough. If we win that, then honestly, I wouldn't even mind going out of the FA Cup so we get to focus on the league and the Conference League. We've got enough games as it is, So that's my take. I'd love to see us, do it. I think it'd be an incredible story. Probably not as good as Leicester one, because at least people thought Leicester would go down the season they won it, where this year people thought Villa could get like top 6. So it's not quite the same, but it's still an impressive story if we go and do it. I just very much doubt it's going to happen, unfortunately. Wolves pride of the Midlands. I do disagree with that. I think if you take Villa out of the equation, probably the pride of the Midlands is Forest, which is kind of sad to say that, but it's true. I'd focus on... I don't know. People will disagree, and fair enough if you want to. I would personally focus on the Conference League because we haven't won a trophy in how many years? 1996. And if you win the Conference League, you go into the Europa League. Oh, Louise has scored from a corner! Oh, it won't count. Oh, there was a shove. Louise swung the ball in from a corner, but it won't count. There was a foul on the goalkeeper, I think. But Louise's lovely in-swinger causes issues once again. There's no foul there. There is no foul there. Keepers are too protected in this league. Well, not just in this, well, just in general. In European competitions, in the Premier League, like a slight pull on the keeper, it's a foul. Like, it's silly. I did say Forest because Forest have won 2 European Cups and their fan base is massive. Oh my god, they've missed an open goal. Oh my god, Zrinjski have missed an open goal. Zrinjski have missed an open goal. Philip Marshall, I don't have to say this other than just saying it as it is. Philip Marshall blasts the ball, it hits Chambers, it bounces on the goal line, and the striker off the bench has put it over. It's not the easy. I will say it's not the easiest because it's looping. Oh my god. It bounces awkwardly, but he has missed an open goal. He has actually missed an open goal from like a yard out. Oh, Marshall's lost the ball again. Yeah, Philip Marshall's looking a little bit uncomfortable in goal for Villa. I will say that. First he blasts the ball against Chambers, and then he's looking a bit wobbly. He is young. Marshall, just clear it, man. He needs to relax a little bit. He does need to relax a little bit. It's 2 mistakes now in the space of a minute. Thankfully, not affecting Villa. Do you think the promoted teams can stay up? Sheffield United, no. Well, maybe with Wilder, but probably not. Burnley don't look like they can buy a win. They beat the worst team in the league, who had a terrible manager at the time. Other than that, they struggle. I mean, they were all right against Brighton, but I think the side that has the best chance is Luton. I think Luton's home form could actually see them stay up. A bit similar to like Forest from last year. The home form could be enough, but it's going to be tough. Personally, I think the favourites are the 3 who went up last year to all come back down again. And next year, I don't think Ipswich will do brilliantly. Leicester... At least Leicester have like experience in the Premier League. They could be okay if they go up. And then the champion, like the playoff season, anybody's game could go up in the playoffs. Ipswich back in the Prem would be very funny. Back in the top flight, I should say. 1-0 Brentford Saturday. Come on, you bit. We do struggle with Brentford, Villa. I will say that our record with Brentford. I don't know if you guys remember. We bought, who was it? The striker a few years ago now. Is that bad? I can't remember his name because he's terrible. Scott Hogan. We bought Hogan from Brentford, and within a couple of days we lost 4-0 to Brentford. It's such a honestly that era of Villa was such a banter era. I can't lie. To sign Brentford's like best player at the time, and then to lose 4-0 to them. Those years in the Championship were pretty horrendous for Villa, I can't lie. I'm glad we're not in it anymore. But yeah, for anyone in chat wondering, it's still 1-0 to Aston Villa. It was a Zaniolo goal, of all players, to put Villa ahead. It's 2-0 to Legia Warszawa in their game against AZ Alkmaar. So Villa and Legia will qualify from this group. Aston Villa, oh, good goalkeeping Marshall this time. Again, they had a 1-on-1. And Marshall has to dive on the feet to keep the ball out. Bloody hell. Zrinjski getting some chances on the counter-attack. Oh, that's good goalkeeping. I'll give him that because he's been a bit wobbly other than that. We've only got 5 more minutes plus injury time. Please do double tap the screen. Like the video on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. All the support will be very much appreciated. With an Adrian masterclass against Villa. What a goalkeeper. What a goalkeeper he was. Eric says Marshall making me nervous like old Brad Guzan. He's young, to be fair. Like we have thrown him into this game a little bit. That would be so lame and boring if the same teams that came up go back down. It would be, but I do think it's probably going to happen. Competition in the EPL so fierce. Bournemouth, Palace, all too good to go down. Palace have been terrible this season and are still well and truly above the bottom 3. And it says it all. Palace seem to lose every single week and they're still like 4 points above the relegation zone. Zaniolo's just put a cross into no one. Gotta say, this game has been pretty pretty boring. I was trying to say dull and whatever. It's been dull and boring and my mind's not working. It's the low block has frustrated Villa and it's frustrated me because Villa's second string team. We have struggled a little bit. We needed to bring on McGinn and Digne to kind of make sure we get the result over the line. But you can clearly see why some of these players do not play week in, week out for Aston Villa. Like Zaniolo is perfect example. I know he scored today, but that's the only good thing he's done all game. Look, I hate that he scored because he makes me look like a mug, but in 20 games for Villa, he has been awful in most of them. Nice goal. I'll give him that though. Nice goal today. Good finish in front of goal. Do you think we'll buy... I don't think we'll buy Tony. I think Tony could go to like Arsenal or Tottenham. Oh, Zrinjski have scored a screamer. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. 86 minutes. It's a goal for Zrinjski. They've equalised. Oh, dear. There is an equaliser for the Bosnian side. Oh, dear. That's an absolute incredible strike. Edge of the box. It's gone into the top corner. That's an unbelievable goal. Jahanovic has scored for Zrinjski. Really good finish, and he runs over to the fans and celebrates. I mean, it's probably the goal of his life, really. It's a lovely strike. Cuts inside past Dendonka. Oh, that's a great finish. That's an unbelievable finish. I think it might have deflected off Chambers and gone in. Unbelievable. 1-1. It is 1-1. Oh dear. Book him for taking the shirt off. Villa still will top the group. But barely. We will be top of the group by a single point with a draw tonight. Very late equaliser, really. Oh dear, Alkmaar. Oh, people laughing at Alkmaar. Alkmaar favourite. I mean, Alkmaar were considered favourites because they're an all right side from the Dutch league. I think they've let themselves down a little bit in the group. Villa battered them home and away. Jerome Villa said can't wait for the weekend Villa Premier League game. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Our away form's terrible. Hopefully we can get something against Brentford. I'd take a point now if you offered it, to be honest. I think Martinez in goal, it probably saves that, to be honest. I think with Martinez in goal, we don't drop points here, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, we've already qualified, and we win the group. Well, we win the group with a draw. It's amazing. It's 1-1 in Bosnia, whilst you won against City. Well, we do have a second team here. To be fair, it's not like Martinez is in goal. It's not like Watkins is up front. It makes a difference when you've got the second string players. Still kind of no excuse to not win a game like this. Especially when we've dominated the ball for most of the game. I do think Marshall could do a little bit more there. I do think that. Maybe I'm being a bit critical, but I don't think Martinez is conceding that goal. That's what happens when you play a weaker team. That is unfortunately what happens. Um, like I said, a draw here. It's not the end of the world. If we lose, however, we go second, which would be a disaster, especially from this position. From being 1-0 up, I think that would be a genuine Villa disaster, personally. I think this will be like a win for Zrinjski. They're already out of the group. They've lost every game bar one, and now they've got a point here. Like, that goal will mean a lot for them. They've scored against Premier League opposition. You know, this might be talked about. I mean, they could get more. They're on the ball here. And they've got a corner. Fair play to them. Coming up into the 90th minute. Yeah, we could do with a new fullback. Yeah. I've said this before. Dan Donker lets him very easily go on the inside. I don't understand that. Just stick a leg out. Do something. Kiss to take the corner for Zrinjski. We'll see how much longer we've got left. 4 minutes of added time. Still it remains Zrinjski 1, Villa 1. Corner comes in. Headed away by Diego Carlos. Back to the corner taker. His touch is heavy. And Villa could hit Zrinjski on the break. Zaniolo. There is an overlap. Oh, he might be offside, Duran. I think Duran's offside. But the recovery tackle is there anyway. Yeah, Duran's well offside. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered no matter what pass he got. Duran was complaining about the free ball. Frustrating. I think, like I said, it doesn't matter that we've not won today, but it's a little bit deflating. You go the whole game, you play against a low block, they frustrate you all game, and then you still don't win despite getting a goal. It is a little bit annoying. I can't lie. Please do hit that like button if you haven't already on YouTube, and double tap the screen if you are on TikTok. Any support will be appreciated. 34 people watching on the YouTube. I appreciate all your support today. Honestly, it's been incredible. We're playing Zrinjski. I got 34 people on YouTube. The support has been crazy. 13 likes though. Any extra likes will be appreciated, guys. If we get that to... Look, maybe 20's pushing it, but I think you could do it. There's more people watching than I've liked. It's a dead rubber. It's not. It is kind of, isn't it? It is a bit of a dead rubber. How you doing, Jasmine? And what is good as well? Kyle. I think it's Kyle because it's Kyl and then E. Could be wrong, but I appreciate you guys coming in saying hi. The ball that gets Zrinjski. I need a win for. I don't think we're gonna win now. They're making subs. 2 minutes to go. Yeah. Fair enough. They've got their point. We still win the group. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, as long as we don't lose this. I'll be very annoyed if we lose this from now. We do have to rest players. Like, people can complain at the squad today, but you can't keep playing first team players. Our players are absolutely knackered. We've had so many games in the space of a few days. We played Spurs, we played Arsenal, Manchester City, played away at Bournemouth. We played so many games in a short period of time. Like, you can't field your strongest team every single week, and this is what happens sometimes when your squad depth isn't great, unfortunately. Marshall for Villa. For some reason, Marshall's just taking his time out, but the referee's still yet to whistle. The referee's just walking towards him. He needs to whistle for it. There we go. That took like 30 seconds to take a goal kick. That was ridiculous. Geordie says, "Away the lads." What was your take on Newcastle in the Champions League? Are you disappointed? Are you pleased that you did get an impressive win against PSG in the group, but you finished bottom of it? I'd love to know what Newcastle fans' perspective on the whole Champions League thing for them. They were in the group of death, I'll give them that. It was never going to be easy. It's really disappointing. At least we should have got Europa League. I think, yeah, especially like the Milan game, I thought you had a lot of the ball and a fair few chances. And the Milan equaliser, I think, was their first shot on target went in. So I get the frustration. I think the PSG game as well, you were robbed away from home as well. That they didn't deserve the penalty. We have some good squad depth. Look at the bench we have in the Prem. The full-time whistle hasn't got. I think it's going to go very soon. But yeah, Aston Villa said Martin should have saved. I do think he should have saved that. If he was in goal, he would have saved that. Is what I'm trying to say. Marshall is academy, third choice keeper. It is what it is. Harrison in chat says this bottle. We didn't need to win. It is full time. Aston Villa have drawn away at Zrinjski. We have won the group. It is what it is. It didn't matter. I did say today, I'd rather win, but a draw is not the end of the world. Marshall, he's just not a great goalkeeper. Maybe I'm being harsh. It was his first game, but he looked very nervous out there. And I think he, realistically probably should have saved their shot. We win the group. That's important. Legia Warszawa win 2-0, but all we needed was a point today, and we've got it. So I'm happy. We've only lost once in this whole group, which was the very first game. It's not the end of the world, is it? We'll take the draw, and we move on into the next round of the Conference League. We don't need to play, actually, the very next round because we won the group now. So we watch what Legia Warszawa do in their game, and we shall see. Thank you guys for watching, both on YouTube and TikTok. 42 of you on the YouTube live stream. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. And thank you to anyone on TikTok. I had a lot of new people today, and I will be live for Aston Villa at the weekend against Brentford. So do be on my socials, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys very soon. I just ended the live on TikTok. Anyway, I'll say good night and God bless and all that. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy your evening. I gotta say as well, just before I end, I got ill. I started feeling better, and now I'm getting ill again. I can't catch a break. I'm getting the very same illness. It's coming back to my throat again. So by the Brentford game, I might have a voice again. My throat has been throbbing all day today. So yeah, fantastic. Anyway, I'll see you all for.